P. Diddy has reportedly been held at knife point by an inmate in prison. This is a breaking news update and headline all across the internet going viral right now. So why didn't the inmate stab him? And what did they say to Diddy that left him terrified? What is the real reason and motive behind the inmate's actions? As someone who recently spent 10 years in prison myself, I'll tell you exactly how this kind of thing goes. How was the inmate even able to access and sneak into Diddy's cell in the first place? And what's next for P. Diddy? Let's get started. So first off, let's read the initial report coming out yesterday. Diddy woke up to a knife against his neck in prison. Inmate nearly slit his throat. Diddy reportedly nearly got his throat slit in prison. The 55-year-old music mogul, who was sentenced to more than 4 years in prison, only 4 years, on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, reportedly had a knife held to his throat. Charlucci Finney, a friend of Diddy's, told Daily Mail that during one of the mogul's nights at Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, he woke up with a shiv, which is a homemade prison knife, being held at his throat. Sources have confirmed the authenticity of the story to TMZ. Quote, "He woke up with a knife to his throat," he said to Daily Mail. "I don't know whether he fought him off or the guards came. I just know that it happened. If this guy had wanted to harm him, Sean would have been harmed. It would only take a second to cut his throat with a weapon and kill him. It was probably a way to say, next time, you ain't gonna be so lucky. Everything is intimidation, but with Sean, it won't work because Sean is from Harlem." Okay. Excuse me. There's so much silly stuff about this article. I'm not saying I don't believe it happened. I absolutely believe it happened. That's a very easy thing to believe happened. And I even predicted this in my previous video about Diddy that I made several months ago about what his fate would be in prison. But for this guy to say, I don't know whether he fought him off or the guards came and saved him. Diddy didn't fight him off, and the guards did not come. What do you mean the guards came and saved him? The guards don't even come around in prison except once every hour and a half, 2 hours. And they barely even pay attention. And Diddy definitely didn't fight him off. There was no struggle there. I mean, even he admits it in the next sentence. If this guy wanted to harm him, Sean would have been harmed. Yeah, well, yeah. If he wanted to harm him, he would not be fought off. Sean Diddy Combs would have been harmed. He would have killed him. So what's really happening here? This guy knows all along because he ends it with, it's probably a way to say next time you ain't going to be so lucky. It's all about intimidation. Exactly. It's extortion. You know, this guy got into his cell and put a knife to his throat and was like, man, listen, man, like this, look, yeah, that's how easy it is. This is how easy it is to get you. So, you know, when I make these demands, when I tell you what time it is, when I tell you what the dealio is and how much I want and how often I need it, it is what it is. And I would love to know who this inmate is, because I guarantee you it's not just a random guy. It's not just Joe McGee, you know, inmate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, doing this to him. He's part of a greater organization who already received the authorization to do this and has the muscle behind him. But that's just their enforcer. That's the position he holds within the prison gang that is in this facility. And so he's the one they sent to do it and just deliver the message. Hey, man, this is what you're going to have to do and what you're going to have to pay and how often you're going to have to pay it to who you're going to have to pay it to. And if you don't, yeah, look, you're going to wake up to this again, but it ain't going to go so good for you because I'm going to let you go this time. This doofus is talking, that intimidation didn't work with P. Diddy because P. Diddy's from Harlem. Brother, I don't care if you're from Afghanistan. Prison is prison. You're trapped in a box with people. I don't care where you're from and how you're. I mean, are you just, oh, Sean, by the age of 13, he'd been in a few fist fights and he had shoved a couple people and somebody threw a rock at his head one time and he survived. So, he's a tough, point is he's a tough guy. He's one tough cookie to crack. So, yeah, you're not just gonna go. No, there are guys, I don't care if you're from Candyland, if you're in prison and you're doing life, you have lost your life. You've lost every will to care about anything and anyone ever again in your life. You are doomed, and it changes you. And I've seen that change happen as someone who has been there and been around these people. It happens. It turns you ice cold. I don't care if you're from I don't care if you live beside Mr. Rogers in his own freaking neighborhood. You will be turned into a monster. Now, real quick, as you can hopefully tell from this video and even many previous videos before, there's a reason why viewers come to me for the most exclusive takes on what's going on behind bars for every hot true crime story. Just like there is a reason why Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Now, they're a firm with over 1,000 attorneys, and that's because they win a lot. And as someone who takes pride in the fact that I deliver exclusive scoops and updates before the mainstream media a lot, and I get there first a lot, I relate with Morgan & Morgan. In the past few months, for example, a client in Florida received $12 million. This is, keep in mind, after the insurance company offered a settlement of $350,000. Again, in Pennsylvania, a client was awarded $26 million, which, by the way, was 40 times the insurer's settlement offer. Even if you think your case is not worth millions, why not just start a claim and fight for what you deserve at least? Because Morgan & Morgan makes it very, very easy. You can start a claim. You can do it on your phone. Just a few clicks on your phone right now. You can start it. If you're injured, you can go ahead and easily start your claim at forthepeople.com/jumpsuit by clicking the link below or by scanning the QR code right here on screen. It's that simple. This guy's doing 4 years. 4 years. You think Diddy is what? How dare you threaten me? You think he's prepared to do extreme acts of violence in prison that are going to get him potentially life sentences? No, it's the guys who have life sentences who are putting knives to throats and extorting people because they have nothing left to live for. So all that yapping about, oh, well, that didn't work on Diddy because Diddy's from Harlem. Okay, like, what does that mean? You know where to tell me to find a good slice of pizza? Who cares if you're from Harlem? I mean, where's that guy who put the knife to his throat from? Like probably somewhere worse. I don't know. What are you implying? But anyways, that's the article. So let me give you the skinny on what's happening here. I see a lot of people on the internet saying, oh, well, it was, is anyone surprised? No, I'm not surprised, but not for the reasons you think, because they're like, well, is anyone surprised? Because, well, look what Diddy did to women. Look at the harm he caused and awful things he did to women. Of course the inmates are going to do stuff to him. Hey, buddy, inmates don't care about women. They don't act in the name of women. They're not male feminists. They don't care. They beat their own baby mamas. They manipulate women over the phone to send them $20 a week so that they can buy candy bars and bags of chips. You think they care that P. Diddy threw parties where he did questionable things more than questionable things to women? And I don't mean to make his charges seem light. I'm just speaking in the way I have to and am forced to speak on YouTube, because every time I just speak how I want to speak, I'm penalized. So, but that's why I say that. You think they care? Half these guys have slapped the crap out of their baby mamas. Half these guys are manipulating their baby mamas or their girlfriends or their mothers or their sisters or their nieces or their daughters or whoever will give them the time of day to send them 20, 30, 50 bucks a week in prison. That's all they care about, so that they can buy drugs with it and get high. They don't care what he did to women. Give me a break. I mean, if you really believe that, give me a break. Oh, well, Jumpsuit Pablo, hadn't you heard about that former celebrity musician, Ian Watkins, who was he just had his throat cut in prison, and he was in there for charges of doing awful, awful things to children. Yes, I have heard of it. I made a whole video on it. And if you think that they did that to him because mind you, this was like over a decade ago that he got sent to prison, and it's taken that long for something to happen to him. Mind you, you think they did that to him because he did something to little girls? Did you know it's been confirmed that he was taken out because he owed drug money to an influential inmate within that cell block? They don't care. You're a source of income. I don't care what you did if you got money. Which brings me to Diddy. I don't care what you did or who you did it to. You got money. Who's got more money? And of all the inmates who got money, he's the most got money fella there is. I mean, who's got more money than Diddy? You dang right. So what? Someone's absolutely going in his cell and putting a knife to his throat and saying, man, I need $1 million right now. What's wrong with you? $1 million right now or you'll die. This thing's going right through your carotid artery. What's happening? What's up? Diddy might have fought him off, or maybe a guard said, Diddy said, hey, diddy dum diddy do thinking had it. Diddy said, oh, no, I got you, brother. Bing, bing, bing. Hey, let's shake hands. Deal made. Consider it done. I got you. Okay. That's how that's going to go. And again, I mean, I encourage you to reference this video. I've said this all along. I mean, that's how it's going to go for him. They're not extorting him because they don't like what he's in prison for. They're extorting him because he is a celebrity and he has millions and millions and millions of dollars. He's from Harlem. That's the silliest sentence I've ever heard in regards to why an inmate will not run into trouble in prison. Dude, these guys do this stuff. There's a guy in prison right now from a very dangerous area of a city doing the same thing to another guy from the same dangerous area of his city. It doesn't matter where you're from. It matters what you have been turned into in prison behind that concrete and metal and steel. It is different. Diddy, with all of his 4 years, man, these inmates look at 4 years like 4 months, dude. No, 4 years, no. These inmates are out for blood and they have nothing to lose and they're willing to just die to get what they want. I guarantee you, Diddy is paying extortion money to someone right now to survive. And he will do so and continue to do so until he's out of prison. That's just a fact. To end this off, I know a lot of people are like, well, you know, as somebody as high profile as Diddy, and just this is such a well-known case, how is anyone even able to enter his cell and put a knife to his throat? Like, why is there not, you know, armed guards with rifles just standing outside of his door at all times? Because number one, this isn't the movies. This isn't television. That's not how it works. Guards in jails and prisons are nowhere near police officers as far as qualifications and training and what they have to go through to be certified as such with that job position. I know many people who I used to, when I was in high school, I'm in a small town, I would go through and order a McDonald's biscuit every morning from. And then a few years later, they were guards in a prison. You don't have to be, and they're 450 pounds. You don't have to meet physical requirements. You don't have to have any training. You don't know how, you're not allowed to have weapons. You're not, you could have got fired from Dollar General and then come right down the street and be like, hey, I want to be a prison guard. And they're like, oh man, thank God, because we're running low on prison guards. We need you. You know what? You're hired. Boom. And so, there's really no credentials that you need to be a prison guard. Anybody can. What are you doing? Excuse me. What do you think you're doing? Hey. Why are you back there ripping up my little cork board? That's kind of the point I'm driving home. And how did he get in the cell? Anybody can get in the cell. Dude, it's so normal. It's so routine. What do you mean, how did he get in the cell? I think people just watch too many movies and TV shows and just like base everything about that into reality and think, listen, the inmates do whatever they want. That's it. Correction officers have like 15% power within these facilities. 85%, the inmates, they do whatever they want. That's the most simple way I can explain it. And that's just a fact. And if you want to say that's not true, why did one of the top 20 most famous people in the country have an inmate slip into his cell and put a knife to his throat? Why does anything happen in prison? Why? Because inmates run it. That's just it. So to sum it up, yeah, Diddy, he's got to be paying extortion money. Flat out. He's paying extortion money. Not because inmates don't like what he did, but because inmates know that he has been a celebrity for so long. I don't care where you came from. You've been removed from that and dissociated from that for so long that you no longer hold these internal characteristics that make you tough and rough and tough, because I grew up on the streets of Harlem. Well, you've been in mansions eating caviar and taking dumps made out of solid 14 karat gold for 20 years now. You're far removed from any type of dangerous environment. I don't care where you're from, where you've been, for the majority of your adulthood has softened you up. But you do have a lot of money. And so we calculate that as, here's a guy, he's not tough, he's no threat, but he's got millions, tens of millions, maybe even billions, hundreds of millions, billions. I'm at least going to get a little bit of that because I have nothing. Make sense? That's what's going on. Other than that, I will see you next time.